Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I am the Philadelphia Whovian, and yes, I am outside. It's something I'm not usually am. I promise for the rest of the videos in this segment, guys, it will be inside. And if you see my channel before, you know that's usually where I am. But right now, yes, indeed, I am outside because I'm working, and this is the only time I get the time to do a video, literally on my break. Because when I get home, I still have more work to do. So it's my only time to do a video. I know, what can you do? What can you do, guys? Okay, so for this video, it's going to be me doing 3 videos where I'm ranking Doctor Who, Classic Who, one-off writers. Now, what do I mean by one-off writers? What I mean by that is that I'm ranking writers who have done 1, 2, 3, or 4 stories, but not 5 or more, where they've written 1 to 3 stories of classic Doctor Who, but not enough to do a ranking of a listing of their own episodes for a whole separate video. So this is me giving pure credit to those awesome writers who are incredible. It's just simply, they only wrote 1 to 4 stories, but they still are geniuses nonetheless. And sorry for all of the noise that's going to be in the background, and sorry for my lack of makeup. What can I do? But this is my only time, guys. So, here we are. Oh, and also, I'm going to, just to make it easier on you guys, I'm going to actually turn the camera around and just focus on the scenery while I'm talking, so you at least don't have to look at me and my work not wearing makeup face. We got that going for us. I'm going to flip you guys around right now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So first we're going to, actually, since we're here, I'll give you guys some brief little information. You are now standing right in front of or behind the Free Quaker Meeting House. People oftentimes don't understand what was a Quaker. Quakers were people who came from England. This was a they were all over the world, but Quakers mostly was an establishment that was founded in England. Quakers believed everyone was equal, men, women, kings, queens. They also believed in peace and not war. Well, this did not really sit well with the King of England, naturally, or King of Britain, because think about it. If the king is no more important or no greater than everyday people, then the Quakers naturally think they don't have to bow down to him. So naturally the king did not like Quakers. I believe this was Charles II who did not like Quakers. That's why Philadelphia is such a Quaker-oriented city in the 1600s and 1700s. Philadelphia was founded by William Penn, who was a man from London, England. He was a Quaker from London, England. He founded Philadelphia. And as a result, this was a good refuge for Quakers to come to and visit and stay because they were not going to be persecuted here. Oh, I'll show you the front really quickly. I shall show you the front after we look at the septibus. There you go. And actually, fun story about Quakers. See this front door? Okay, now imagine someone laying here. Here's the story of a man named Benjamin Lay. Benjamin Lay was a man who was born in England in 1600s, about 1682. And here's the thing, he was a Quaker, so he believes everyone's equal. Now he's heard of slavery, but he's never seen slavery before until he goes to Barbados and he discovers that his fellow Quakers own slaves. They also buy and sell slaves, so he's outraged. So he begins to preach about slavery being wrong in Barbados and England, but this gets a lot of folks in England and Barbados angry, so he comes to Philadelphia. Sorry, traffic, hold on. He comes to Philadelphia. Hopefully the traffic is less bad now. And he thinks it'll be a better place for him because now there should be no slavery here in Philadelphia because it's a place of Quakers, right? Wrong, there's still slavery here in Philadelphia. His own fellow Quakers still own slaves. So he's so outraged, he does lots of scandalous things in Quaker meeting houses while at meetings to preach about the evil of slavery. One thing he does is, he would lay on the steps of Quaker meeting houses, so the Quakers had no choice but to step over him when they left, because he wanted all of them to remember slavery was evil. this was not the most scandalous thing he did to get his Quakers to stop owning slaves. Just thought I'd give you that brief history. Sorry for that. But I want to give you a brief history lesson because to show you, hey, there are still some white men who are definitely heroes in this world. And Benjamin Lay was a hero in every sense of the word. And you don't get much talk about white men who were heroes nowadays. So I wanted to give you the story of a white man who was an iconic hero. I am sorry about that. Now back to our list. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so number 30 we have is Peter Ling, who wrote The Mind Robber. I'll get you into a quieter place. Here we go. To Peter Ling. Again, number 30, Peter Ling. He wrote The Mind Robber, which is the second Doctor's story with Jamie and Zoe. And I know that some people are not crazy about this story. I love this story. I think this story is actually really cool because it's just so surreal. The idea of the Doctor falling into a location where all of these fictional characters from books or plays are now all meeting and converging on them in this area. And, I love the idea of Cyrano de Bergerac fighting D'Artagnan and Lancelot, etc. and so forth. The carcass, which Zoe fights. Yeah, go Zoe. And Jamie getting his face, plastered on a poster because the actor was sick, actually, so they had to replace the actor. But still, I love the idea of it. I think it's enjoyable, and it's funny how the episodes get shorter and shorter because Patrick Troughton was like, well, if you're not going to pay us more money because we're the three main actors, so we have all these more lines, then shorten the episodes because God knows, I'm memorizing too much as it is. Next we have up is number 29, Mervyn Heisman and Henry Lincoln. They wrote The Web of Fear, another second Doctor story, this one featuring Jamie and Victoria. Oh gosh, this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, intelligence story. It's atmospheric, taking place in the London Underground. It's so cool, it's incredible to look at. Absolutely love it. Next we have up in 28, Johnny Byrne, who wrote The Keeper of Traken and The Ark of Infinity. Like, I know some people definitely don't like the Ark of Infinity. I understand. I like the look of it. I also love that it's the Doctor and Nyssa. I think that's the only story where it's just them as Doctor and companion. And I like Nyssa, so naturally I'm going to be drawn to that story. But also, mainly, I love him because of The Keeper of Traken. It's a story that is just so great world building. The Master's back, and this is a story that I created Nyssa, or gave us Nyssa. This one is the fourth Doctor's last season, and he is with no longer has Romana as a companion. It's him and Adric. But I just love the story of it. Actually, I think it's actually very incredible, and that could just be me. I admit that might just be me. Oh, and here. Oh, actually, good shot of Independence Hall. I'll get closer for you guys. But Independence Hall, that was originally called the Pennsylvania State House. That's where the Liberty Bell once was, I believe, at some point, unless I'm mistaken. And this building was originally finished, I think, around 1753. Sorry for if there's any static or like stuff happening around me which is hurting the noise. I think it's the wind. It will pass, hopefully. But the Pennsylvania State House, fun fact that people often don't remember about this building is this building was once used as a prison. Yes. During the British occupation in 1777, when the British Army captured Philadelphia, because guys, remember, at this time, the British were totally kicking our butts and winning the war. I'm still amazed that we won. But General Howe, who was a great British general at the time, he had all these American prisoners from war. He had no idea where to put them, so he stored them in the Pennsylvania State House, right there, Independence Hall. The British once used that building as a prison and a stable to hold their horses and also American prisoners. And like us Americans, what did we do? What did we do? There were 5 of us who did a jailbreak, and we broke out. Ha! Ain't that something? Also, all around here, See, in 1790s in Philadelphia, there was the yellow fever epidemic, where politicians, even the President of the United States, left Philadelphia because of this disease, this fever that was running around, and it was killing many people. But we here, the African American society in that time, which was free blacks at the time, they stayed behind to help those who were sick at the peril of their own lives. So right here in this area of Philadelphia, this old city, you're seeing a place where once upon a time all people were dying. I mean, there were corpses left and right. But African Americans who were free at the time stayed behind to help, endangering their own lives. There are tons of heroes here, as there are tons of villains. Also, fun fact about Pennsylvania State House, or General Howe, the man who had that place become a prison. George Washington, one time General Howe's dog got lost and wandered into George Washington's camp. Sorry, hold on, static. It's almost over. Almost over. It's the wind. Okay. Sorry. Oh, hold on, the bell's ringing. Alright, cool. So, yes. But, George Washington found General Howe's dog. Did George Washington keep the dog? No, he did not. He returned the dog back to General Howe, showing these two men, General Howe and General Washington, shows how you can be on two opposite sides of a war even and still respect each other, admire each other, and realize that you can be tolerant of each other. That is pretty cool. Also, now, back to the list. I'm sorry, guys, back to the list. Number 27, Graham Curry, The Happiness Patrol. The Happiness Patrol is a story from the 7th Doctor's second to last season, and I think it's a great story. It influenced the 12th Doctor story from Series 10, Smile. The idea of a patrol walking around killing off people who are not happy, who ever look unhappy and upset or sad, just killing them off. What a cool concept. To me, that is the essence of Doctor Who. And the saxophone player, walking around playing the music, oh, beautiful. Number 26, Rona Munro. She wrote the very last story. Sorry, we're coming near traffic, so I know the sound is going to get a lot worse. Rona Munro, she wrote the last story of Classic Who, Survival. This story is, again, I think is just wonderful in every single way. It's epic, it's unique, it is bizarre. That's what I like about Classic Who. Classic Who could be easily bizarre and make it work. And the last quote, the very last quote at the end of Survival, to me is one of the greatest quotes in the history of the show. I absolutely love it. What the 7th Doctor said to Ace as they're walking away, "Somewhere the tea is getting cold. Come on, Ace, we've got work to do." Then we got number 25, Eric Pringle, who wrote The Awakening. Guys, I know some people don't like this story or they heard bad things about it. Give it a chance. The Malice makes a very good villain. It's a two-parter. It's enjoyable. I love the 5th Doctor in it. I love the idea of the different time periods being fused together. What a cool concept. And I like the way Tegan and Turlough are in it. I think it's very good. Oh, speaking of other things to talk about, look, here we are at something called the President's House. This is where George Washington, he used to live with his wife Martha Washington back when he was president. Fun fact about this, and when you're inside, I'll take you inside a bit. Here we go. As you can see, the President's house is no longer here. Yeah, President's house is completely torn down, just like Benjamin Franklin's house. But here's the funny thing about the President's house. This story talks about how George Washington, his wife, had a personal slave named Oni Judge, and she escaped. Yes, a slave escaped George Washington and his wife ran away, and she successfully stayed free her entire life, and she was never caught. God bless America. Okay, next we have up. Sorry, I'm back now. I'm sorry, guys. Number 24, Andrew Smith, who wrote Full Circle. Oh gosh, Full Circle is the 4th Doctor story from his last season. It's the first part of the E-Space trilogy. I think it is wonderful. The Doctor and Romana are wonderful in it together. And yes, I know some people hate Adric, of course, but that does not mar the story for me, and it never shall. Next we have up is number 23, John Lucarotti. He wrote The Aztecs. I remember doubting the heck out of this story and thinking to myself, how in God's name could the first season of Doctor Who, 1963, with William Hartnell, possibly, be able to do the Aztecs? But they did. It was amazing. It was marvelous. It was wonderful. I love, Barbara in it, the idea she tries to change the history of the Aztecs so people will remember them in a better fashion, but she fails, and the Doctor told her you cannot mess with history. I love the Doctor's chemistry with Kamika. It's awesome. Next we have up is number 22, Victor Pemberton, Fury from the Deep. The 2nd Doctor story. It's the last story that Victoria has. BBC, story is practically completely missing. BBC, please just do an animated version of it. Thank you so very much. It's a great story. I know the ending with the problem getting solved. Oh, sorry, wind again. So static is coming. Wind again. Static is coming. Wind again. Sorry. Here we go. But the idea of Victoria's voice solving the problem, I know that's weird when she screams, but overall I do still enjoy that story a lot. And as we go, oh wait, look, there's Pennsylvania State House again. Oh, also now known as Independence Hall. Oh, and to the one side of it there's Congress Hall. To the other side of it there is the old City Hall. Also, fun thing is this is the location eventually where John Adams, the 2nd president, became president after George Washington stepped down after 2 terms. John Adams is a controversial character because he's got a good side to him and a bad side to him. He was a person who did not understand how to take criticism, so when the press was criticizing him, he pretty much stomped on the rights of the press and would imprison people for slander or for giving off, negative comments on, newspapers and newsreels and all that. I'm sorry, newspapers and gazettes. That's what I meant. Well, that's not a good thing at all because it squashes the freedom of the press. So when he was done being president, people were not happy with him. But at the same time, he was still fair in other ways. John Adams is the first president of the first 4 or 5 presidents to not own a slave. He was against owning slaves. He very much was. But also, during the Boston Massacre, when people were angry at the British soldiers for firing on the crowd, it was John Adams who said, no, that was not them slaughtering these men, these colonists. The colonists were rioting and they were attacking the British soldiers. So the British soldiers were defending themselves. He tried to be more reasonable about what really happened. But another fun fact, with John Adams, all the founding fathers, no one was perfect. And what they all kind of show is there's no such thing as someone who's just a hero or a villain. We all kind of are both at the same time. So John had his good sides and bad sides, but so did Thomas Jefferson, so did George Washington, all the founding fathers, so do all of us founding mothers or women and men in general. So I'll say that. But also a fun fact about John Adams and Thomas Jefferson that no one often talks about is the legend has it that they both visited William Shakespeare's house and they stole some small thing from William Shakespeare's house, like a bit of his cushion from his chair or something small that nobody would notice. And both men, both John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, died on the same day within hours of each other. That could be a false legend. I could be totally wrong with that. Oh, crap. I should get to number 1. Sorry. Number 21, last entry on this list. Anthony Reed, who wrote The Horns of Nyman. This is from the Fourth Doctor's second to last season. Romana and the Doctor are wonderful in it. Romana looks amazing, especially in it. I like this story. I know some people do not like this story. I like the idea of Nyman, of the Minotaur. I think it's really cool. And to me, I think it embodies classic Who, where it's just being creative to the maximum. Actually, I'm going to turn back to me now. Hold on. There we go. Creative to the maximum. Sorry, guys. And as a result, I think these writers deserve all the credit that they get for what they were and how they were, because they were absolutely amazing, and I admire them so much for all the work that they have put into the show of Doctor Who. And guys, I promise my next video is going to be inside in a controlled environment. Guys, sorry for any loud noise in the background. Thank you for sticking it out, guys. Really, you are awesome. I'll see you again very soon. Bye, guys.